Well, hey guys, welcome back. It is week 3, day 2. And so we're having a great time talking about God's creation and how he speaks through it. And yesterday we talked just a little bit about Psalm 19 and how God speaks to us. And then we got into about the blood moons, and that I challenged you to, and I really do, I challenge you to go back and look at all that and see how God spoke to us back then. And as I said, that if we understood what God was saying back then, if we were listening, if we were awake, we would have known exactly what we're going through today. So I'm going to explain that today. So those blood moons did take place 2014, 2015, and they were coincide with the feast days, as I said yesterday. Passover, tabernacles, Passover, and tabernacles. I am the first, I am the last, I am the first, I am the last. That's what God said. Revelation chapter 1, he says that twice. And so God is telling us it's getting close, guys. I'm coming. And the first time he says first and the last, he said, I'm coming again. And the second time is right after he shows himself as the judge. So we need to identify that. So today what I want to do is I want to understand the solar eclipse that took place in the middle of these 4 blood moons. It was like God was framing this solar eclipse. And this is where I think that most people missed what God was saying. And so we find that the solar eclipse happened on March 21st, 2015. And the solar eclipse happened on the North Pole. So there are 2 messages there that we can clearly see without any, this is scientifically fact, historical fact, that this eclipse happened on March 21st on the North Pole. But the question is, what does it mean for you and I? Well, what is interesting in 2015, that March 21st, which was the first day of spring, the first full day of spring, it's as though God is saying, right, a new season is occurring, that we find that on that particular year in 2015, because the Hebrew calendar and our Western calendar, Roman calendar aren't the same, but we find that on this particular year, March 21st coincided with Nisan 1 of the Hebrew calendar. Why is that significant? Because on Nisan 1, we find Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And God was saying to Moses and Aaron, prepare yourself. This is the beginning of your life, the new beginning of months. I'm getting ready to deliver you out from the bondage of the Pharaoh. And so notice how it corresponds with the first day of spring. I'm getting ready to bring life out of the darkness that you've been living in. Spring is coming. And we find that Nisan 1 says the same thing. I'm getting ready to deliver you out of bondage. So that's what God was saying to us. And that's what God is doing. Whether you know this or not, or appreciate it, God is waking up a dead, sleeping church to deliver us out of the bondage. And he's allowing some of the things that take place. Now, here's the second thing, that this solar eclipse took place on the North Pole. Now, what's interesting about that is in Isaiah chapter 13 and 14, we have the 5 eye wheels of Satan, where he says he's going to be like God. But in verse 13, it says, for you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. Satan has a congregation. He's now made himself out to be God to those people who are following him, children of disobedience. He's on the farthest sides of the north. Where did this eclipse occur? On the North Pole. So here we find that God says, I'm going to deliver you out. Now listen carefully. When you got to know the whole Exodus story, right? You got to go back there and read it. God hardened the heart of the Pharaoh through the plagues. So here we find in 2015, God was saying with the solar eclipse that happened on March 21st, I'm going to deliver you out. It's a new day. Nisan 1, I'm going to deliver you out from the bondage of Satan. I'm going to do this just like I did back in the day with Pharaoh. I'm going to deliver you out, but at the same time, Pharaoh's not going to let you out. Satan, at the same time, this eclipse happens on the North Pole, and Satan is saying, I'm going to ascend myself above the clouds, above the northern parts, and sit on the congregation in the north. And he's going to be like the Most High. So here you find the clash. Satan is trying to become ruler. God said at the same time, I'm going to deliver you out. That's exactly what God was speaking. We find this spiritual war that's going on right now, and God was speaking back then in 2014, 2015, and the church was asleep and dead because we weren't paying attention to what God was saying. We wanted to tell God what was going on. We wanted to say, God, I need this. I need you to pray for these things. We were talking about growing our churches, but it wasn't the kingdom. It was growing our own kingdom. And we've got to get our eyes back on the things of God and start doing what God's called us to do and hear from God and follow what he's saying. Friends, listen, I'm telling you, the days ahead, what I'm going to share with you, if you think this is amazing, man, the things I've got ahead are going to blow your mind, because God has been speaking to us very, very clearly. It's just the fact that the church has been oblivious. We've been doing our own thing, and God is now waking us up and bringing us out, delivering us. And so we're going to talk about that. Can't wait. May the Lord bless you. I hope that you have an incredible week. I'm going to talk to you again tomorrow. And until then, see you.